Anything you wanted to ask? It really depends. I would kind of go with the flow a little bit. First thing is to kind of choose 3 things you want to do. And maybe for that week, I'd choose maybe 3 words I want to do. And words that are important in their environment, things that you're interested in. So not necessarily a word that I want to do, but something that I know will really help them. And then set up times where you're just talking about it all the time, especially if it's part of the routine. And that word happens all the time. Like the word bath comes up every day if you're doing bath time routine, right? So you can in your everyday routine see where you can scatter it. So you don't necessarily need the one-on-one stuff, but you might think of what kind of play activity would you do that a word would come up. And then you can have little bursts of it. You can have like 5 minutes in a routine, and then you only need maybe 5 minutes again at another end of the day. So you don't necessarily need to sit down for an hour going. And most kids can't do more than 15 minutes. We can't as an adults. I mean, you're doing great concentrating here now, but it's very hard to focus fully for more than that. So usually for young kids, about 2 minutes are awesome. And if it's something like on, I do dressing and go sock on, trousers on, so things like that. Anything else you wanted to ask? What kind of books are you reading?
Farm books. He likes farm books. He seems to like farms, or I tried to Gruffalo and she's no attention span.
Oh, that's maybe way too complex for him. That's not my tractor.
Yeah.
But the feeding books.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of them around.
Noisy books, flat books.
Okay. Yeah.
That really helps a child's attention because it's something new is happening every.
Yeah.
Or the ones with the puppets in it.
Okay.
Yeah. And don't read the words.
Just put
Make
up
up
stuff
stuff
out in the pictures and
Ooh,
stuff. Yeah.
what you see.
Yeah.
And then you can then work it out later, because if
Build
you're
up
too
that
busy reading the text.
Yeah. He just gets lost in it and he runs away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And very young children, you want to kind of keep it really simple.
Yeah.
That what the Ladybird Bird was really good. Good, no worries. What the Ladybird Bird was one of his favourites, because we had the sound book.
Yeah.
And then as we read through it, he pressed the button, so his attention to the task was long. Now, to be honest, his reading is his thing. He didn't want to play with toys, he wanted to read a book as a baby. So maybe slightly different example, but I would go really sound book, flat books, really interactive books. Not the ones that pop up because they'll rip it to shreds.
Yeah.
Okay, those don't last very long.
And
Very contentious thing,
because
okay? Because a lot of therapists talk about that. I think flashcards is okay if you make it fun,
yeah.
okay? And I have my postbox eat the cards, or a bag eat it, okay? And then my postbox gets the hiccups afterwards, or a big burp, or farts, or all kinds of stuff. And the kids think it's brilliant. Especially if it's maybe cards about them, doing different actions, or family members doing different actions, so you can talk about what's happening, or their favourite things. And then do 5 cards and go do something else.
Yeah.
But you get post-traumatic stress disorder if you had 30 flashcards, every day.
Yeah.
You're not in. The more in context it is,
Yeah.
so actually playing with the objects, that's what works for kids. They need to feel it. They need to be immersed in it. So when you do wet and dry, you do like water play and experiencing that and go, oh this is really wet. Oh, now we're going to try it. Yeah, so that kind of activities.
Okay.
So fill in the blank. So I call it a closed sentence. So the duck goes. Yeah. Ooh, that's fill in the blank, right? It gives them a way to run into the sentence. Or I'll go and sometimes the kids just go, yeah, the boy is walking. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, you did it. Lots of praise, high fives. And why do we want to insist on them saying it is the other thing. So if I really want to practice them saying it, I would give a choice. ooh, is that a monkey or is it a duck? It's a, ooh. And then if I say duck. So I'll make it easier by having a choice of two. Okay, so I always going to break it down to that. Yeah, so there's lots of those little tips and tricks. But the other thing is to just model it yourself, right? So if we go ready, steady, go! So I'll wait a sec. If they don't say it, I might wait, I'll say it, and then I might wait a little bit more if I want to push the envelope, right? So I go, oh, look, it's a car, it's a, and if they don't do it, then car, I'll give it for free. What happens very often, once I've done that, they go home and they go, car! And I'm like, yeah, it paid off. As long as they do it at home, that means it works. It's because what happens in a therapy session doesn't really matter, because do they then take those skills and take it home is the main thing. Yeah. I actually, that's a very good question. And that's one where I always think to myself, did I make the right choice? I started out with 2, and then at around 2, he started having lots of teething issues. We had lots of lovely single words at 11 months, I think it was, and I thought, this is amazing, great stuff. And then we got to 2, and we're still in single words. And I went, this is a little bit tricky. So I stopped using the Afrikaans and went to just English. And then finally got a little bit of a boost. Took about 6 months to really get enough of a boost. And then we saw some speech errors. So a lot of fluid in the middle ear, I think, causing that for at least a year, because the teething was mad. Right? For him, it was really mad.
Sorry, you, like, if there's fluid in the middle ear, that just goes away by itself. It's not something that you
It does, unless it's an infection, then usually then, no, you can't really, it drains away. So all you can really do is boost the modelling. So I boosted it, like, boom, 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 what are you saying? And maybe did that a little bit too much at one stage, but then now I'm trying to get that back in, because ideally 2 languages are best. And the research is saying to us, you're better off having both, because kids are better at flexible thinking and all of that stuff. They benefit more from 2 languages than just 1. So ideally we need to push it up. So we've been trying, but it's very hard. With my family, when we go and visit, they see him as English. So they speak to him in English, and I'm like, speak to him in Afrikaans, he needs to learn. And they go, whoop, 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 whoop. And then they talk to me in Afrikaans. And I'm like, right, this is great. Yeah, they talk about, is it your L1 or your L2, right? L1 is your main language,
But the thing is,
L2 is your second.
Whenever we talk, he understands very well.
Yeah.
When he says, he talks very less our language and more English.
Yeah.
We usually talk in English.
Exactly, and that changes. So your L1 and your L2 can change. So for example, my L1 was Afrikaans, my L2 was English. I moved to Ireland, English became L1, right? Afrikaans is now way down the list. Actually, I can't write formally Afrikaans anymore. I used to write reports in Afrikaans and English. Can't do it in Afrikaans anymore, because English is now my L1. Okay? It depends on how much you speak. So I speak Afrikaans so rarely now that doesn't come up. But ideally, 2 languages are awesome, unless if you see a child has difficulties in both languages, then we need to be concerned. But if they have difficulties in only 1, that does happen. Over time, they'll get there, but that's kind of a natural thing to see, because you very rarely see L1 and L2 at the same level. Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
Yes, they used to say years ago, never mix
the languages.
Okay,
Yeah.
now research is saying mix all you like, it actually really helps.
Oh.
Even 2 languages in the same sentence.
Oh,
They
right.
used to say,
Yeah, he's saying that.
speak your native language in the kitchen, and, another language in the living room. Or we used to have to say to people, when you're in school you speak this language, at home you speak this one. Now they're saying, if you want to mix it up and say groenboentjie, boter, toebroodjie in the middle of a sentence, it really doesn't matter, because it's about meaning. So it's saying to us, mixing it up doesn't matter, it actually really helps.
Okay, great, yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know, isn't it? As long as one of the languages are good,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be worried because they in the end benefit from having
But
as
how
many
long
languages
does
as
it take
possible.
for another language to improve that? It's not-
It really depends on how much input and how old the child is and
It's not,
and-
and you're not pressurizing them, or, I mean.
yeah, I would just, the more you speak to them in a language that they're learning, the better. If you think about it, if you have to learn a new language now, if somebody just talks to you all the time in
So
that
what is
language,
the age
it'd be
that
so
you
much easier.
can give them both? I mean, what is the age?
And you can start from birth, right?
Yeah, that's.
Or any other time when it feels right.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's circumstances change. If my family were just better at speaking Afrikaans, then that'd be great. Because all the other cousins are spoken to in Afrikaans. He's the only exception because he's the Irish boy. Okay?
That's great.
Right, they're going to definitely throw us out of here now.
Yeah.
If there's anything you want to ask me, I'm just going to quickly put my email address up, okay? And our phone number. If you want to ask me a question or you want me to send you some information,